I can hardly tell how happy I am that human beings of this planet finally started to pay attention to the condition of the Earth. I am referring to the conference on global warming going just now in Copenhagen. Of course, I see it as a beginning because at this stage we still see it in a very anthropocentric way, like we are concerned about our survival, how our civilizations, our cities going underwater. This is our primary concern, and we are trying to change something. But on the other hand, I believe this is a good start. We start to be aware that we cannot just deal with this planet as an object, but we must start to pay attention to its needs. And this is the field where I am working since 30 years. I am working on developing communication, not just with the planet as a whole, but also with beings of the earth, not just human beings, but also trees and mountains and landscapes. I see all this as consciousness primarily. According to the state of the modern physics, we know that material particles are just a tiny part of the whole. Mainly, everything is a huge void, which means it is a consciousness. It is a consciousness that, like us having our thoughts and ideas and then putting them into form, making, let us say, pottery, we use then elements of the clay and material particles of matter, but this is a consciousness transformed into a form. And the same is Gaia. Gaia is a consciousness, is somebody that then develops its own body that is in constant evolution, and us being part of this body and part of that consciousness, we are thinking with this consciousness. So I believe that the next step that needs to be taken is to start to talk to Gaia as consciousness and also develop a way to collaborate and to see what the Earth changes, what the global warming is bringing, what is the positive aspect behind it. We know from the history of the planet that the crises come, like in our personal lives, crises come always where something new is about to be born. What is going to be born, or what is intention of Gaia to introduce the Earth changes? It is not just our fault, maybe, that with our industry and the traffic and so on, we are causing something. It might have a deeper cause, but we cannot understand it if we, first of all, do not understand who Gaia is in its pluridimensionality. I mean Gaia as consciousness, but also as a being, as somebody, as an organism that is, first of all, energetic. This means vital organism, and finally has also its physical form. But to be able to understand this, we have to change our way of approaching reality. As long as we demand from reality to be logical, to be rationally understood, then the reality is not allowed to be what it is. Gaia is not allowed to be who it is. We are moving within our own rational world and not really touching, not communicating, not being in connection with life itself, with the life of this planet. So I see the next steps to develop what I call Geaculture or Geoculture, a new culture of relating to the earth as on the spiritual levels, in a sense of sacredness of this planet and of nature and of places and landscapes, and then how they function on the vital level as vital energies, as vital energy organism, and then how the consciousness that is behind all this works, trying to develop the planet, the life of human beings. But then understand all this is not enough. We need also find a ways to collaborate, to cooperate, which means first of all to communicate. The challenge here is that Gaia, nature, landscape is a different kind of consciousness that human rational consciousness. It doesn't know a logical way of thinking. This is a speciality that human beings are bringing to this planet. But Gaia, according to my experience, I have now 30 years of experience in communicating with landscape, with places, with trees. And I understand that this kind of communication goes in a different way. It is like speaking a different kind of language. Let me give an example that just comes to my mind in Bled. This is a place in Slovenia that is one of the main touristic targets. It is a lake with a beautiful island, with a pilgrimage church at its center. And while I had a workshop on the health of this place, preparing the workshops, I approached one of the ancient oaks at the edge of the lake, and I put the question, what would this tree see as a problem of the place? I put this question in the way that I am turning this question within my emotional field, let us say. In a way it dissolves in feelings and vibrations. I believe this is the way that a tree can understand, can accept my words. And then immediately there was an answer. I got a bump into my chest and I fell backward on the ground, bumping really hard with my back on the ground. And at the same time, of course, this happened in my imagination. It was a language that tree is using. At the same time, my logical mind understood that the place, being once a sacred place, was pushed too much into matter, so it cannot really develop its dimensions. And I had to develop a kind of strategy how to inspire people towards understanding this place more in the sense of its sacredness. But this is another story of my work. I just wanted to give an example how this communication is functioning. And I am sure, and I have such experiences, that in the same way it is possible also to talk to Gaia. And my proposal is to change perspectives, not to look what we as human beings want to do, want to change only, but also to listen what is the strategy of this consciousness which is within us and all around us. What strategy this consciousness, the Gaia consciousness, has to do this quantum leap, to go forward, to transcend the dramatic situations we are going in. And in effect, I have experiences that I gathered during the last 10 years that the Gaia consciousness is very intensely working on this, that it is developing a new dimensions to its being. It is developing a certain way how to get out of, let us say, a state of being that is too much materialized in the direction of pluridimensionality, so that, let us say, that we occupy the earth more and more totally. We are so many people, and we are dealing with the earth as it would be our flat, and we are building our roads and whatever we need, without paying attention to what the earth needs. And the earth, on the other hand, this consciousness understands what we need. We need more space. We need possibilities to develop spirituality as a human beings. And so I see this consciousness creating different dimensions that they are already ready. We could expand into these dimensions if we would be able to perceive them, to understand, if we would be able to understand what is going on. Like at the end of the Middle Ages, these brave sailors went onto the oceans and discovered new continents. In the same way, it is now possible to discover different dimensions to the space of reality we are living in. And this would make possible development of new technologies, and also we could go onto different levels of creativity. I see a very bright, so to say, very creative, very positive future in front of us. But this future doesn't work if we do not change our way of perceiving the earth, understanding who we are as part of Gaia consciousness. Maybe coming from some other star systems, but now, here and now, we are part of Gaia, we are part of the earth, and we should develop a way to communicate with our partner, Gaia, and also we should then be capable to go on with our evolution, and by this also enable the earth to go on with her own plans. I mean, this is a planet that is destined to be a community, a place of communication and of sharing and of understanding each other. But the language is missing, and first of all, our goodwill is missing to let go of our rationality, open our hearts in the sense of listen also to the intelligence of the heart, of sensitivity, intelligence of intuition, and find a way to talk to Gaia. Yes, let us do this.